idea I had at like 4 in the morning, middle of the night, woke up in an anxiety spiral and needed to focus on something else. Who knows if this is going to be any good, but we'll find out. Today we are talking about the ABCs of Peloton. Now that I say it, this wasn't actually my idea. So a follower on Instagram sent me a message a couple weeks ago and was like, hey, you should do a video of like Peloton terminology for newcomers, because like sometimes like you don't know like what certain things are or whatever. And I was like, oh yeah, that's a great idea, let me file it away. And then I just claimed it as my own. The ABCs part was my idea, but the rest of it is not my idea. I'm not original, I'm not creative. We are just going to get into it. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to give you a letter and I'm going to give you a Peloton term to go with that letter, and I will explain a bit. I'm gonna try to do rapid fire because there are 26 letters and I'm already a minute and a half into filming. A is for artist series. So artist series, rides, runs, classes, all that stuff are classes where the artist, like say Taylor Swift or like Lizzo, all the music in the class is all about that artist. The instructor's going to be talking about that artist during the class. You're going to be learning probably things about like accolades and stuff like that. Sometimes the artists actually drop by the studio. That's happened. T-Pain was there during AFO. Lizzo's been in studio. It's pretty cool. They're great fun classes. They're very accessible because I feel like when people take those classes, they're mainly wanting to listen to the artist's music, so the instructors tend to make those classes simpler. They're a lot of fun. I highly recommend the Lizzo 2-for-1 with Robin and Jess Sims, and Robin's original Lizzo ride, also great. Taylor Swift series, Harry Styles 2-for-1 with Emma and Allie. They're great. B is for bike boot camp. So bike boot camp is a lot of fun because it is like a great way to get in a lot of work in a short period of time. So in the bike boot camp, you are going to be starting on your bike. You do a warm-up, you will do a set of intervals for a period of time, then you will come off your bike, change your shoes or take your bike shoes off, come to the floor and do a strength section. So sometimes it's full body, sometimes it's just upper body, lower body, core, whatever. You'll be doing a strength section. You'll get back on the bike, do some intervals, depending on the period of time, like if it's a 30-minute bike boot camp, 45, 60-minute bike boot camp, depends on how many times you'll be coming on and off the bike, but you'll be doing intervals on the bike, strength on the floor, intervals on the bike, strength on the floor, bike out, done. They're a lot of fun. C is for climb. So you might know climbing from in your rides. You might think of it as like low cadence, high resistance intervals. And that is true. Sometimes you will do an extended climb where you're just adding resistance a little bit as you go for a period of time. Sometimes you're sustaining a heavier resistance low cadence for a period of time. Climb rides, 10-minute climb, 20-minute climb, 30-minute climb. You might be doing any of those for the entire time. You might be doing all of those. You might be doing intervals, but the whole time you're working on resistance. So you are working your way to the top of the mountain. You might have valleys, you might get a flat road depending on how long of a climb ride it is. You know, there's 60-minute climb rides, you know, they gotta throw you a bone in there somewhere, but climbing is just working your way to the top. It's very resistance focused and they're a lot of fun. I mean, climbs are my favorite type of interval, so I like climb rides. D is for dance cardio. This is a part of Peloton that I have not messed with. There is a dance cardio series. I believe it's like Cody, Callie, Hannah, Allie, Emma maybe, where, I mean, it is what it is, dance cardio. I mean, you're doing a dance, you're learning a dance. I've never taken a Peloton dance cardio class. I have 2 left feet and absolutely no rhythm. Should I try it and film it? I think that might be kind of kind of funny. We'll see. Some of these letters I was scraping the bottom of the barrel for. So E is for EDM. EDM is electronic dance music. We all know that. EDM music, great, whatever. I love EDM rides because they tend to be, I mean, because what's EDM if not a beat drop? Like, you're going to be doing work when the beat drops, and that's a lot of fun. Most of your intervals are going to be at beat drops. The music's obviously going to be like hype. I really like Kendall Toole's EDM ride. She's got a lot of like, we went to college, we're like about the same age, she's like a year older than me. We went to college around the same time, so her EDM rides are very like 2012, 13, 14 college day for me. But if you like big hype energy, if you love a beat drop, if you like to work to the beat of the music, if you like chorus pushes, EDM rides are for you. F is for full body. So here we're talking the strength classes, and a full body strength class, whether it's body weight or you're using weights or like Pilates or something like that, pretty self-explanatory. You're going to be doing workouts that work out your entire body. You're going to be doing upper body workouts, you'll be doing core workouts, you'll be doing leg workouts. You might even get some cardio, like little HIIT sections in there. Again, if you are short on time, if you're trying to get the most bang for your buck, full body bike boot camp, in my opinion, is the best way to get the most bang for your buck, because you're getting cardio and floor, but full body weight strength. Andy Spear's a great strength instructor for that. Callie too, I love Callie. Like I said, some of these I was really pulling. There's a lot of letters, guys. We're only in the first third of the alphabet. Oh my god. G is for groove ride. Groove rides are really fun. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that only Cody and Emma teach groove rides, but groove rides are music, intervals, but also choreography. So if you've gone to a spin class that is not Peloton, if you've gone to SoulCycle or like an independent spin class or whatever, they incorporate a lot of choreography into their spin classes, and groove rides is where you're going to find that with Peloton. Now I know Kendall does a lot of like back to up to, if you know what that is, when you're out of the saddle and you kind of like move your butt back, pull your butt up. So you might get that from her, but in a groove ride, you're going to be doing intervals, you're going to be doing stuff to the ride, but you're also going to be doing things like back to up tos. You might be doing like bike crunches, which is kind of hard to explain when you're not on the bike, push-ups on the bike. You might be doing flinging your hands in the air. I don't do them a lot because I'm not coordinated. But they're a great class for practicing being out of the saddle just in general, because you tend to, when you're doing choreography, be out of the saddle. So if that's something you want to work on and you don't want to think about the choreography, take a groove ride and just work on riding out of the saddle. H is for HIIT and Hills. So HIIT is high intensity interval training. So it's interval training. I mean, it's anything from doing just regular intervals all the way to Tabata. You're doing a burst of energy, a rest, a burst of energy, a rest, a burst of energy, a rest. Those classes are a lot of work. They are super fun. Definitely get your heart rate up, definitely leave you breathless. Now, HIIT and Hills is a type of class that I prefer over just straight HIIT. So in HIIT and Hills, you're going to be going through blocks of work where you're doing high intensity interval training, where you're doing like something like 30 on, 30 off, 40 on, 20 off, whatever, like straight Tabata, whatever. And then in the next block of work, you're going to be doing like a climb or like a resistance effort. So instead of doing like a timed like interval, you're going to be like working your way to the top of the hill, or maybe doing like a chorus push with a resistance, something like that. So you're going in between HIIT and Hills. They are a lot of work. They are so much fun. I is for intervals and arms. So again, this is pretty self-explanatory. This is another type of class where if you want to get a lot of work in a shorter period of time, fantastic. Or if you're kind of, I said in one of my beginner Peloton videos, these are actually good if you're a beginner and you need breaks while you're on the bike. So in an intervals and arms class, depending, you know, there could be 30-minute, 45-minute, hour-long, whatever, you are going to be doing interval sections, whatever that might be. You might be doing speed pushes, you might be doing resistance, you might be climbing, whatever the instructor kind of programs. Again, depending on the period of time, like if it's 30 minutes, you might do it twice in the class, whatever. You're going to take a break from riding, you stay on your bike, you're going to grab your weights, and you're going to do an arm section. So if you've ever done like the 10-minute arms and light weights classes, it's going to be like that, except you're going to do it for like one song. So like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, you're going to be doing some arms and light weights, whatever they tell you that you're going to be doing. I did a lot of intervals and arms when I was first starting out because I felt like 30 minutes was a long time for me at that period of time to be doing straight cardio. All right, here we're really scraping the bottom of the barrel because it's not even called this anymore on the app. They just changed it. But J is for just run or just walk or just work out. So this is a section of your Peloton app where you can, if you are out and about in the world, going for a walk, going for a run, if you're going to like a Zumba class, if you're going to a Pilates class, if you're going to the gym and running on the elliptical or whatever, you can turn on the workout on Peloton, even though you're not taking a Peloton class. You can earn minutes towards your Peloton annual whatever. If it's like an outdoor run or an outdoor cycling, you can earn miles towards your monthly challenges. If you can connect your Apple Watch for your heart rate and stuff like that. It's just a way for you to, even when you're not using Peloton equipment or a Peloton class, you can still bring Peloton into whatever the workout is and earn minutes and miles and stuff like that. I turn on, every time I'm out and about in the city, I always turn on my Peloton Just Run. I'm never running. I say that every single month when I post it. I'm never running. I'm always walking. But I like to know how many miles I've walked, and the best way to track that is through the monthly running challenge. So that's what I do. I use it all the time. And I mean, it's just like a great way if you're like very blue dot focused and you're like, oh my God, like if I go to like this Pilates class with my friends and then I'm not gonna get my Peloton blue dot. No, baby, you just turn on Just Work Out with Peloton and they got you. K is for, I have nothing for K. Please give me something for K. Someone, I know there's something. K is for Kendall? I don't know. L is for low impact. I love low impact classes. So in a low impact class, the whole premise is you are not coming out of the saddle, your resistance is not going over 50, and your cadence is not going over 100. So does that mean they're easy? Sometimes they're easy. Sometimes they're great for like a rest day or just like a reset or whatever. They're not always super easy because you can get a lot of work done with those resistance numbers with not coming out of the saddle. I've never not broken a sweat on a low impact ride. I've never done a low impact ride and felt like I didn't really just do anything. You definitely feel like you're working. It's just you're not getting breathless. You're not, well, you might be getting a little breathless. You're not doing crazy intervals. It's more of just like a sustained effort, break a sweat, flush your legs out. I do low impact like at least once a week if I'm like riding regularly. They're so great. They're also great for cool downs. There's lots of 10-minute low impact. If you just come off like a really crazy ride and you feel like your heart rate just needs to like a little bit, low impact is where it's at. M is for mobility. There is an entire Peloton mobility collection. Stretching, just moving your body. Mobility is so important as we get older and when we are crunched up on our bike or we're doing lifting heavy shit. Just so important. I'm just thinking now I should have done foam rolling for F. That was stupid. Whatever. Foam rolling with Hannah, fantastic mobility work. Any kind of stretching really is just like, you just need it. In the yoga section, there's lots of like focused yoga flows. So like you could do 10 minutes where you're just focused on like your back or you're just focused on your hamstrings, whatever. If anything is ever feeling tight, if anything is ever feeling painful, that's when you know you need mobility. Unless you like really actually hurt yourself, but you know what I mean. Like, I'm not a doctor, but you know what I mean, okay? N is for nightly meditation or meditation at any time of day. I am famously terrible at meditating, but I do find that sleep meditations, the nightly meditations, if I just pop in my AirPods when I lay down and put my phone on Do Not Disturb, I have many a nights fallen asleep to the sounds of Peloton meditation. O is for outdoor, and I don't mean what I was talking about when I was talking about the Just Run, Just Walk, whatever. Outdoor, they have specific audio outdoor runs and walks that are guided, that are as if you were on a treadmill, but you're outside. So you can pop in your headphones, go for a walk, and you know, have like Maddie in your ear telling you like, okay, like now we're going to pick up our pace, now we're going to like scale back, now we're going to do this, now we're going to do that. Listening to music, they're always going to tell you where your halfway point is. So if you are, you know, you need to turn around and go home, or if you just keep going, they are great. I've done many outdoor walks in my time. It's a great way to get outside and get fresh air, and again, still be in your Peloton bubble. Yeah, I just thought about K too. I could have done K is for 5K. K is for 5K. There's a road to your 5K collection. There you go. P is for Pilates. Peloton has really been leaning into the Pilates game lately, and I'm not mad about it. There is a beginner Pilates program with Kristen. I actually did a video on it. I will pop it up on the screen if I remember. And if you hate core work, but you need to be doing core work, Pilates is a fun way to get a lot of core in. So, Pilates. Q is for, I got nothing. R is for resistance bands. They are limited, but Peloton does have resistance bands classes. I love resistance bands. Before I was into Peloton, I would do resistance bands workouts on YouTube all the time because they are great for strength training. They're great for like a bridge between body weight strength and lifting heavy. They're great if you can't or don't like to lift weights, but you still want to get like a weighted workout in. The resistance bands are just great. The only thing I will say is do not buy resistance bands from Peloton. Buy them from Amazon. The Peloton resistance bands, I don't have them. I'm sure they're great. They're so expensive. You don't need it. I got resistance bands that have lasted me for years from Amazon for like $15, and they work perfectly great. We talked about this a little bit with mobility, but I'm gonna drive it home again. S is for stretching. Stretch. If you are not doing 5-minute post-ride stretches, what are you doing? How are you living? How do your hamstrings and your quads not just like seize up all the time? They probably do. You need to be stretching. It's 5 minutes. You can do it. You can do it. T is for Tabata, my least favorite type of training ever. Tabata is an interval style that is a 2-to-1. So you are working for a period of time and you're resting for half that period of time. So the interval might look like 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, or it might look like 30-15, or it might look like 40-20, but you're doing a 2-to-1 interval ratio. They are tough, they are relentless, Tabata is not easy, Tabata is not for the faint of heart. I mean, it's good for you. I don't choose to do Tabata rides. I tend to curse and flip off my screen when I'm in a pop ride and all of a sudden Kendall's like, oh, and by the way, we got a little Tabata at the end. Okay, bye, love you. I'm like, fuck. But it's good for you. If you've never done Tabata before, do not do a Robin and Yellow Tabata class. Save yourself the trouble. U is for upper body. U is a hard letter. And you know what else is a hard letter? V. I've got nothing for V. V is for what? I can't. V is for. W is for warm-ups / cooldowns. Beating a dead horse. I've said this over and over and over and over and over again. Warm-ups and cooldowns are so good for you. You're going to do a warm-up. It's going to be 5 minutes. You're going to be like, I don't have 5 minutes today. You have 5 minutes. I know you have 5 minutes. You're gonna do it, and then you're gonna get into your ride, and you're gonna realize that right off the bat, you're already doing better than you would have if you just popped into the ride. You're already warmed up. Your warm-up in your ride is already kind of worked. Your output's going up. You're moving a little faster. Your resistance is a little heavier. And then, at the end, you're gonna do a cool down. And I know what you're gonna say. I don't have 5 more minutes. Yes, you do. Actually, you have 10 minutes because after your cool down, you're gonna do a stretch, but you're gonna do the cool down because you need to bring your heart rate back down. The minute that they give you at the end of the ride is not enough. You're still panting. You're still out of breath. You're losing it. You need to cool down. X. You'd think this would be the hardest one, but it wasn't. I got X. X is for XOXO Cody. So that is a series with instructor Cody Rigsby where you send him letters on social media and he reads them out. Halfway through the ride, you do some work and then you're in kind of a sustained effort halfway through the ride, or maybe a flat road, and he goes through and he reads advice about boyfriends, and there's Valentine's Day themed ones and breakups, and it's just, if you like Cody, if you like his vibe, if you like his jokes, they're fun. they're a good time. If you're just in it for a good time, go to XOXO Cody. Y is for yoga. Peloton yoga is very, very good. You don't need to be good at yoga to do Peloton yoga. There are tons of classes that are just like focus classes. So I said this earlier, like just focused on like working on like moving your back or like your hamstrings or your calves or whatever. There are full yoga flow if you are a yoga person and you know the different poses and stuff. There's full yoga flows. There are yoga classes where you learn those poses. So you spend 10-15 minutes working on like a tree pose or a mountain pose or a boat pose. And then restorative yoga is also great. I would put restorative yoga up there with stretching and mobility. You just get your body into a certain position using props and pillows and stuff that maybe like you wouldn't naturally be able to get into, but it stretches you and you can fall asleep. And Peloton yoga is great. I'm not a big yoga person, but I do a lot of Peloton yoga. And finally, Z is for zones. I was gonna make this P, but I couldn't think of anything else for Z, so I switched it. Z is for zones, and by zones I mean power zones. I have an entire video about power zones. I'm just plugging my my content here. Power zone training is training to fit your ability. So you take a test where for 20 minutes, well, it's, you know, you do a warm-up, but then for 20 minutes, you kind of work your way to your, not max, but close to your max effort, like the most that you can give for an extended period of time at a certain resistance and cadence level. Basically, this is like a test where like when you're done, you've left it all on the floor, you've got nothing left in the tank, you're exhausted, the floor's covered in sweat, you're dying. That then gives you your power zones. So your zones are 1 through 7, easy to like max. And then in a power zone class, instead of the instructor calling out resistance and cadence efforts, they're going to be calling out zones. Your zones are specific to you, specific to your test results, your body, your whatever. So you might be doing like, you know, zone 3 for 10 minutes. I'm not gonna go into it completely here because again, I have an entire video on it that explains it so much better. I haven't done power zones in months, but if you are focused on, if you're very athletic focused, if you're focused on like training, if you're like trying to get into like bike racing or like professional biking, or if you just prefer to have a more tailored to you ride experience, power zone is where it's at. And that is it. That is the ABCs of Peloton. Was this a good idea? I don't know. Did I think of good things? I don't think so. Give me your alternatives. What the hell is V? What are we doing for V? V is for what? I don't know. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, as always, comments, hit me up in my DMs on Instagram. In a recent video, I said slide into my DMs and someone commented and they were like, I don't think that's what you meant. And I was like, I've said that so many times and I've never thought of the implication of that, but like, I mean, whatever. Oh gosh, I gotta go. I'll see you guys very soon, right here or somewhere in my next video. Bye.